Repeat that as this apparently does its thing, testing the broadcast, making sure that it's live. Welcome everybody to the Work to Play. We're going to be covering patch 5.2, the patch notes in full. This is going to be a live reading and reaction. Hopefully, if you're joining me live or in the archive, be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. This is going to be our live channel content. We've been talking about that for a little bit, but we hope to see you back here for more live content. In this case, obviously, patch 5.2 drops just next week here on the 18th. So there is a lot that they are bringing. There's a lot that is going to be rolling out over the next couple of months. So hopefully you're as excited as I am for this update. As typical kind of patch notes reading fashion goes, this is going to be a long one. These are the big notes. And in this case, so grab some coffee. Feel free to read along with me. If you wish, let me know if you have any questions if you're live with me. But if nothing else, we're also going to be doing a summary of the notes, kind of maybe just talking about the key points, the key takeaways that you need to know when going into patch 5.2. Anyway, I'm going to take a sip of this coffee, and we're going to buckle up and get this done. Nice and bright and early in the AM for us Central Time folks. So obviously patch 5.2 kicks off with Echoes of a Fallen Star trailer. And you can see here from overall the content, playable content, the battle system, items, system, fates, actually it's all part of the content, sorry. And so we're going to just kind of go right down the list and go over all the details. If you've never read or seen the patch notes before, this is something to designate what kind of content you need. 2.x just means the base ARR, 3.x means you need to have Heavensward, 4.x means you need to have Stormblood, 5.x means you need to have Shadowbringers unlocked to your account. As far as quests go, pretty much everything outside the starting quest has been blanked out to preserve, hopefully, the elements of surprise and to reduce the risk of spoilers. But with 5.2, we're going to see new main scenario quests that have been added, kicking off with old enemies and new threats. This is starting off in the Rising Zones. We're going to talk to Kryle, and players must first complete the main scenario quest, Vows of Virtue, Deeds of Cruelty, thus completing the end of 5.1, being ready for 5.2. So then after that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 quests to drive the story forward. Also, Yoshi P has noted that be sure to set enough time aside to be able to kind of enjoy the patch notes themselves. Chronicles of the New Era quests have been added, the Sorrow of Worldlit, and this is going to give us the Ruby Doomsday. This is that trial fight, and you can find that and kicks off in the locks, which is cool. So we've actually got some content that is taking us back to the source this patch around. Then we have Eden. This is the continuation of the raid. So you can see here, Away with the Fairy, and then the rest have been blocked out to preserve the risk of spoilers. So overall, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quests to unlock the new Tears of the Eden raid. So I'm really excited about that. I'm looking forward to diving back in. Does it give me our gear score that we need to know? It's just talking about the piece of the puzzle. Well, we might get into those fights here in a minute. Then you have the Yahora Dark Apocalypse, Carnivals and Confrontations. So you got this Disciple of War Magic at level 80. Talk to the Dig Site Chief. Players must first complete either the Chronicles of the New Era, Heads Wins, or Tails Lose. And it looks like they have added 2 quests for Chronicles of the New Era. New side story quests have been added. Fisher level 1. This is going to be players must first complete the quest, My First Fishing Rod. And so all the fish in the sea is a new Fisher level 1 quests. The Qatari Beast Tribe quests have been added. These quests are designed exclusively for disciples of the land. So the Beast Tribe settlement can be found in a new region listed below, where players can purchase unique items from the local vendor upon completing the Beast Tribe main quest, the Stewards of Note. And this is going to take place in the Ratika Greatwood, and get ready to go mine and I believe fishing has a role because it says disciples of the land. I just don't remember seeing any kind of fishing updates from this quest, but that's how it actually worked for the I was thinking Nidhogg for a second there. The we'll just go on. Hey, Daddle. So, this feature of the system is going to feature this feature of the system is Quest Sync. The Guitar Beast Tribe main quests and daily quests will employ an automatic level adjustment known as Quest Sync, which will match the difficulty to the player's current class level. Any experience received upon the completion of these quests will be adjusted accordingly. Furthermore, certain quests will not allow players to proceed with a class that is different from what they've accepted them. The Beast Tribe main quest. During the Beast Tribe main quest, the player will have the option to agree to one of two NPCs at several points. These choices will affect the way in which the quest unfold and the appearance of the Beast Tribe settlements. That's actually really neat to see that we can have that kind of level of impact. So, stewards of note, you have to have at least a Disciple of Land level 70. Kicks off in Ratika, talk to the Conservative Mother, and you must complete the main scenario quest, bearing with it, and Protectors of the Wood. So, let's continue. Looks like from here, we got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like 9 quests in total, and obviously blanked out to preserve the risk of spoilers. Beast Tribe Daily Quest. To unlock the Katari Daily Quest, players must first complete Beast Tribe Quest. The Stewards of Note. Requested materials can only be collected while undertaking each quest. Furthermore, these materials will not be listed in the gathering or fishing log, but will appear in the duty list. So the Beastman currency that you can earn complements by completing the quest, obviously, and the number of Katari complements currently held is displayed in the currency window. The Weather Fair Skies has been added to Leith Meg, and it's finished state. Okay, great. Certain Chronicles of a New Era side quests objective icons have been changed to indicate elevation. The Ethereal Shard for the Doman Enclave docks has been added to the Doman Enclave. The new chapters have been added to the New Game Plus. The final quest, each chapter must be complete before it can be unlocked. So the Chronicles of the New Era quest, Binding of Bahamut, Alexander Omega, the Crystal Tower, the Shadows of Mach, Return to Ivalice, the Warring Triad, the Four Lords, and side story quest, Hildebrand, Tales of the Dragonsong War, and St. Adalm's Solasticate. So, New Game Plus getting an expansion, and it's the biggest expansion for New Game Plus going to be happening with 5.3 when we see ARR kind of content get added into that system. So, adjustments to fates. New items are available for gemstone traders for Shadowbringers, and participation in fates that appear in seasonal events will no longer be counted towards certain achievements or challenge log entries. I don't think that's necessarily too much of a troubling item, but it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know if why they had to go and do that. Treasure hunts. Rewards for the Gilgerskin treasure maps and Zoterskin treasure maps have been adjusted. Rewards for the dungeons of Gaith have been adjusted. And granted free companies. New craftable items have been added to the company workshop. And if you guys check out that cottage there, that looks really cool. That just stands out and pops. First thing I've ever seen, I think, in housing that I go, okay, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind having it coming home to that. Solo players can now advance the production phase of company crafting. I'd love to know what you guys think about that. Just regarding that one change. It was a system in which that, everybody was like, hey, here you go, have fun, go nuts. And, as a team, but now, it was always kind of annoying, like, hey, come back to the company crafting so we can advance this. Because it always kind of felt, at least from our free company, that one person was driving that forward. But having it only, I don't know. I'd like to know your thoughts. I'm not negative against it. It just seems like it's just oversimplifying it more so than ever before. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the subaquatic voyages. New areas have been added. New items have been added. The maximum submersible rank has been increased from 65 to 70. The maximum rank for free companies has been increased from 8 to 30. I'm really looking forward to that. Hey, Tuna. The fact that we've got from 8 to 30, there's more things to rank up, and you're going to get some new adjustments. So the number of company chest compartments has gone to 4 at 10. You can now hold more inactive company actions. They increase the number of company chests to 5, and then more inactive company actions and more inactive company actions here at 20, and then it just continues on from there. My hope, I always wish that we would see them just take that and make that some kind of infinite number that, you know, maybe there aren't rewards that are connected to everything, but just let us like continue to level up our free company just as a bragging rights. The free company that I'm in has been founded since the beginning of free companies. And, you know, just to think like, oh, what level could we be today if that was the case? Excuse me while I drink some coffee. All right, let's continue. Private states and housing wards 19 to 21 have been added in patch 5.1, are now available for purchase. If you guys weren't aware, these were added, but they were not available for individual purchase, just for free company purchase. And now you can go and I guess just dive in if you want your own personal house and you're able to get one. Furnishing from the 14 designer contest have been added, so you can see the images of that here. So learn more about the design contest 2017 and 2019 if you desire. So people get to submit and they get that stuff in game. How cool would it be to see something you've designed, you know, somebody displaying that and be like, hey, I helped create that. That's so cool. So congrats to all the winners. So then you can see new furnishings have been added. It's got a very rustic theme. It's got a very, like, I guess, fantasy setting theme. If you can see here, you got the you got the trees, you got the overlays. That's really cool. They really have done a good job with the housing system outside of, obviously it's limited stuff. But when we talk about like the things that you can do with a house, that's pretty impressive. The ORA mannequins are now available. So that's, I guess, good for anybody who's been looking for that. New orchestrion roles have been added. The following addition and to new orchestrion roles and orchestrion categories have been adjusted as follows. So you can see here listed before and listed after. It looks like they've added in locales 1 and 2, raids 1 and 2, and ambient. The aquarium or new aquarium fish have been added. The new seeds for flower pots have been added. And then they have called them the hyacinth bulbs. Can now be purchased from the following vendors: Out in Mist, the Beds, the Gobbet, Shirogane, the Apartments, and New Gridania. Hey Mark, how's it going? Angler's prints have been added to housing. Your latest catch can now be printed on canvas and displayed in your apartment or your residence depending on the size of the fish. One of the following canvases will be required: a small, medium, large, or extra large canvas. Once the canvas is placed, accessing it will allow you to select suitable fish from your inventory. Fish can be discarded. Fish will be discarded once the print is on the canvas. Only creatures listed in the fish guide can be printed on the angler's canvas. Required canvas sizes can be found in the fish item's description. And to remove a print from the canvas, access it and select remove angler's print. The print will be discarded once removed. And then we can see new estate tags have been added under renovation and concert hall. That's freaking cool. Oh baby. All right, Mandiver Gold Saucer time. New stage, the falling city of Nim has been added to the Gate Leap of Faith. In accordance with this new addition, the previously available stage will be referred to the Fall of Valhalla. The following adjustments have been made to the gate schedule. The following information can also be confirmed by speaking with the Gold Saucer attendant at the entrance square. Every on the hour, Earth time, Cliffhanger, Air Force One, Leap of Faith. Hourly, 20 minutes past the hour, Earth time. Any way the wind blows, the slice is right, the Leap of Faith, Falling City of Nim. Hourly, 40 minutes past the hour, Air Force One, the slice is right, Leap of Faith, Falling City of Nim. Hey, what's going on, Dead Inside? How you doing? So Mark says, did you go over job changes already? Really curious about Warrior specifically. If they're in here, Mark, we have not got to them yet. So we're just going down the list. It looks like I'm probably 1/3 of the way through. Have yet to get to the job changes. Perfect time for a check-in. For all those joining us, we'll be sure to summarize this over on Work to Game. Thanks for coming over here. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and help us out with the algorithm if you feel like we've earned it. Anyway, the following adjustments have been made to Triple Triad. New cards have been added. You can see them listed here on the screen. The NPC opponents for Triple Triad has been added. When playing the Domain Mahjong, an opponent's homeworld can now be confirmed via the opponent's list. New prizes are available for purchase using MGP, and you can see the little bunny here with a scarf, which is cute. All right, now miscellaneous adjustments. The following songs can be played using performance assistance: The Eternal Wind and The Mushroomery. So that's going to be something interesting to check out what they mean by the performance assistants. I've never actually used the perform, and so it'll be, you know what, I should go and do that. I do have a bard, so it'd be kind of fun to see how that goes. So prizes available in exchange for Chloe's gold certificate of commendation and Chloe's silver certificate of commendation have been adjusted. Great. All right. Let's talk about the battle system. Maybe this is what you were looking for. We'll have to see. A medication gauge has, or the meditation gauge has been added to the samurai. If you guys aren't aware, like how it's been working is that as a part of the samurai's rotation, they get meditation stacks now. That has been kind of that buff icon. And so the request was, can we get that as a part of the UI? And now that has been added for samurais, which is really great. New dungeons, Adamus Annider has been added. Players may enter the dungeon with trust NPCs. The level requirement needs an average item level of 440 or above. It's for 4 players, 90 minutes at the time, and the requirements are a main story quests. So just go and have fun. Item level sync has been added for the following duties. You can see here that the twinning at a Makia Annider. I can't even say that tonight, or this morning. The Grand Cosmos, it's all set up to be a maximum 470 item level sync. So if you're not aware, when you go into the dungeon, if you're over 470, you're going to be automatically synced down to 470. The music in certain instance dungeons, boss battles introduced in patches 5.0 and 5.1 have been adjusted. To help alleviate inventory clutter, certain items such as Void Scent Blood and Bat Fangs will no longer drop from enemies in instance dungeons. A new trial has been added, the Cinder Drift. This is us fighting the Ruby weapon, and this is going to be kind of tied into the main scenario quest, old enemies and new threats. So look for that as a part of the Ruby Doomsday quest here. And then you can see Cinder Drift Extreme. This can only be accessible via the Raid Finder, and it's going to be an average item level of 470 or above to enter. Now, after completing the quest Ruby Doomsday, speak with a War Machina Fanatic in the logs as a level 80 Disciple of War Magic. And then the item exchange, the totem received upon completing this trial can be exchanged for rewards by speaking with Santania in Mordona. Now, the Gunbreaker and Dancer weapons that are available from coffers that appear after completing the Minstrel Ballad, Shinryu's Domain. So, oh, sorry, I read that wrong. Looks like they're adding in Gunbreaker and Dancer weapons to the Shinryu's Domain Minstrel's Ballad. Then the drop rate for the Fey Gilbert Trumpet and Innocent Gilbert Trumpet have been increased, and they can be purchased in exchange for totems of Fathered of in Ulmor. And you can see here, you need King Totem, 100 or 99 in this case, for the Fey Gilbert, and the Innocent Gilbert Trumpet, Immaculate Totem, 99, to be able to get those mounts. New raid dungeon, Eden's Verse, has been added. You can see here the item level 455 or above to be able to take part in the Eden raid to kick that off. So make sure you're ready to go item level wise before Tuesday, so that way you can jump in on day one. And it's good to know what that kind of kicks off with. I was like, what is that going to be? Is that going to be 450? Are they going to go 460? Which I think would be kind of high. So 455 seems about right. In that case, as far as it goes, you need to complete the main the quest. Question. Players must first complete the quest Away with the Fairy, and that's just a part of the story for this. So as far as it goes, we'll have to wait and see. But I'm very, very excited to see the raid and Ramu, man. Like we totally remember the guy completely different here on the first. So treasure coffers upon completing Eden's Verse will not yield gear, but instead yield tokens, and that can be traded for gear of your choosing. You can only receive 1 token per chapter of Eden's Verse each week. In the event that you are awarded a token from the loot list, you relinquish your right to vie for all remaining tokens, regardless of whether you've selected Need or Greed. Also note that there is no weekly restrictions on entering Eden's Verse. Item exchange. The item attained from treasure coffers can be exchanged for gear by speaking with Gulgal in Amarang or in Valyal in Yulmor. So you can see here what you need. Helm, you need 2. Armor, you need 4 for the body. Hands, you need 2 of the gauntlets. Legs, you need 1 of the for the belt. Feet, you need chausses. You need 4 chausses. The waist, you need greaves. I'm wondering if they messed up and put legs and waist here, because that seems like that would be better prepared there. I think they might have had an error in the translation, but regardless, get your tokens and get them turned in. Hey, Death Monkey. Wait a minute, it's not 8 o'clock. No, I set that up just as a placeholder of time, just so I can, because the goal is to get the notes out to you guys as quickly as possible. So the completion reward, upon completing Eden's Verse, Refulgent players can also earn a Blade of Golden Antiquity once a week. And this reward can be exchanged for more tombstone, blah, 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 sorry. I'm reading this very poorly. The reward can be exchanged with Ghoul and Amarang or Yalhal and Umor for purchasable tombstones, which can be turned in exchange for weapons. Got it. Okay. I was like, when did they allow us to convert that to a tombstone? Got it. I'm an idiot. New raid dungeon, Eden's Verse Savage, has been added. So Eden's Verse Savage can only be accessible via the raid finder, and you need what's the item level requirement? Okay, here it goes. So 470 or above, 475 or above, 480 above, and 480 above. So that's Vermeation, Furor, Iconoclasm, that's interesting, and Refulgence. And so there you go. That's the item levels. And I'm just time limit, with the exception of with the last one is at 90, and then you have 120 minutes, which is nuts. Morning Punisher Gaming TV. Entry requirements after completing the quest, we won't say. Speak to the Luri and Amarang as the level 80 disciple of War and Magic. Upon completing Eden's Verse Savage duties, treasure coffers will appear containing Eden Choir coffers. When used, these items transform to the gear corresponding to the user's current job. In addition, the coffers that appear upon completing Eden's Verse Refulgence yield weapons. Gear and accessories will not drop directly from treasure coffers. So you can see here the weapon coffer, gear coffer, it's just basically translating and corresponding to the different type of gear that you're going to get. If your party contains players replaying the duty prior to the weekly reset, the number of treasure coffers appearing upon completion will decrease. Furthermore, players will be ineligible for rewards from treasure coffers as well as Eden's Verse Apocrypha when replaying the duty prior to the weekly reset. By selecting duty completion, players will not be matched with those who have already completed the duty. In addition to gear, players will receive Eden's Verse Apocrypha from each duty, which can be exchanged for gear of your choosing. By selecting or speaking with Golga in Amarang or Yal in Yulmore, players can exchange Eden's Verse Apocrypha from Eden's Verse Savage for the corresponding gear, and then you can kind of translate that into into the gear itself. So let's keep going on. The following duties have been added to the raid finder: Cinder Drift, Eden's Verse, all the Eden's Verse, the new raid Savages. The following duties have been moved to the duty finder. You can see Minstrel Ballad, Hades Elegy, and the Eden's Gate 1 through 4. So Resurrection, Descent, Indulgenation, and Sepulture. The healing potency up effect gained from the Echo now applies to all HP restoration actions rather than just healing spells only. My mic is slowly descending into my face. Players will now receive the power of the Echo in the event all party members are incapacitated during the following trials. Players are incapacitated after having battled enemies for a certain period of time. The Echo, the maximum HP damage dealt and HP recovered via healing actions are increased. And this can stack up to 5 times for the Minstrel's Ballad, Hades Elegy. So the following adjustments have been made to the copied factory. The weekly restriction on rewards obtained from coffers has been removed. The weekly restrictions on obtaining manufactured coins have been removed. So if you guys need to go and farm, you are free to do so. The following adjustments have been made to the Epic of Alexander Ultimate. The weekly restriction on obtaining Colossus totems has been removed. The item level will now be synced to 475. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the Alkean Tombstones. So now what we're having here is that players can now obtain 450 Tombstones of Allegory per week and carry a maximum of 2,000 at one time. Moreover, players can only receive the Tombstones of Allegory after reaching level 80 on at least one class or job. Speak with, to turn them in for cool stuff. Weekly limitations on the Tombstone of Phantasmagoria have been removed, and Tombstones of Goita are no longer attainable. The NPC in Mortona will now give players the option to exchange your Tombstones of Goita for Tombstones of Phantasmagoria. And then the Tombstones of Genesis and the Tombstones of Mendacity have been removed from the game. So if you guys still are sitting on some of those, go out to Mortona, get those exchanged for the proper tombstone that you need. The duties listed in the Duty Roulette Expert have been changed. So now we've got the Grand Cosmos and Adamus and Niter. That's going to be a part of the Expert, and leaving, you now can see that those are over here, and we're now going to have a Duty Roulette level 80 dungeons with Amuro, the Twinning, and Academia and Niter. So just keep that in mind. The Duty Roulette bonus, the Tombstones of Phantasmagoria and Tombstones of Allegory have been added to that new duty. So if you need to be able to get those Phantoms or Allegory, that's going to help you kind of do your weekly farms as well. The following duties have been added to Duty Roulette Trials, and that's Cinderdrift. The following duty has been added to Duty Roulette Alliance Raids, the Copied Factory. The following duties have been added to Duty Roulette Normal Raids, and then you can see here, obviously, Eden's Verse. And the duties listed within the Duty Roulette Mentor have been changed as follows. The new duties have been added, and you can see them listed here as well from Adam Snyder, Cinderdrift, Eden's Verse, 1 through 4. The required average item level to register for Duty Roulette Mentor has been increased from 435 to 455. The number and types of Algian Tombstones received from Duty Roulette have been adjusted. So you can see Expert is going, this is pretty common practice, but just to kind of summarize it, where once you were getting 60 of Goita and 40 of Phantasmagoria, you now get 60 of Phantasmagoria and 40 of Allegory. So it just kind of ticks and changes that a little bit, and you can see that listed for each of the different content itself. So it looks like main scenario where before you got 100 of Goita and 50 of Phantasmagoria, now you get 100 Phantasmagoria and 50 Allegory. So if you feel like you don't need that XP, you can go and get a lot of Tombstones and get that leveled up real quick. Then let's go ahead and dive into the number of the Algian Tombstones awarded for defeating elite marks has been adjusted. So in 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0 areas, you can see here where before you got Poetics and Goeta, now you're going to get Poetics and Phantasmagoria for A rank and S rank. It looks like A rank in 5.0 areas is going to get, it's going to also reward you Allegory. S rank is going to reward you 30 Allegory, and the extraordinary powerful elite marks could actually reward you with 50 Allegory. So kind of pay attention to the 5.0 areas if you're liking to do those hunts. The types of Algian Tombstones received from Deep Dungeon have been adjusted. So before Goita and Phantasmagoria, now Phantasmagoria and Allegory. It's pretty much common practice as through it goes. The Algian Tombstones obtained through the dungeons of Lithga have been changed. It looks like the Phantasmagoria going to Allegory, and the following trials have been added to Stone, Sky, Sea. So you can see Eden's First, the new raid, and Cinderdrift Extreme. That way you can kind of test your DPS might from there. Regarding that, then you got Frontline. The matching system has been adjusted. The randomization of PvP alliances have been improved. One of the things that people have been doing is trying to make sure they team up on like their grand company with the 4v4, so that way they can ensure the greater chance that they're going to have a team of 8 and just kind of roll on everybody. So we'll have to see if that ends up kind of taking away some of the sting when it goes to playing front lines, especially here in NA. New items have been added. Items of patch 5.2 will be listed at a later date, but you can see here the different gear that we're going to be getting from the game. The gear set chosen for in the ranged physical DPS gear design contest has been added, and you can see that listed here. That's really well done. Congrats to those who or the individual who designed that gear. New recipes have been added. As you can see here, new gear. Looks like we got some nice cloaks that we can be, we can have our toga parties, I guess. And then new master recipe books have been added. The following items can no longer be used. As a result, their descriptions have been updated. Mission Ceruleum and Mission Ceruleum Voucher. The following items are now categorized as seafood and not bone. Cloud Coral, Blue Cloud Coral, Glooming Cloud Coral, Heaven's Coral, and Red Sky Coral. The prices from the following items have been adjusted when purchased from NPC vendors. Fieldcraft Matera, it's going from 220 gil to 44. Materia 2, 100 or 1100 to 220, and then Materia 3, 2000 to 400. Whew. Prices are dropping. The following adjustments have been made to Materia. This is really interesting. I remember him talking about this, so I'm actually personally really excited about this system. Essentially, Materia can now be extracted from fully spirit bonded gear without losing the original item. Furthermore, it can be melded into gear regardless of the crafter class. In accordance with this change, the general action material assimilating has been changed to Materia extraction, and spirit bonding is reduced to 1% following the extraction. So it's kind of like this, infinite progression system in which that at least XP is giving you plenty of rewards. Clement, Ron, welcome to the workforce. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Let's see here. So anyway, I'm really just for the fact you're getting XP and it's paying off. That personally has me excited to see just that how it's gonna kind of play out with the market, right? Because ultimately, it's again, Materia prices continue to fall because it's just new ways for us to obtain them. But that personally, I'm actually really excited about the change. Anyway, adjustments have been made to the requirements for the melding. It is possible to meld Materia if one or more crafting classes, including Culinarian, are of equal or higher level than the level required to equip the item. It is not necessary to change that crafter class to meld Materia. Culinarians can now be used to complete the quest Walking in the Spirit, which unlocks the ability to meld Materia. Materia melding menu can now display items that have reached the maximum number of melded. So, cool. The subcommand Retrieve Materia has been added to the Materia melding menu, and the number of Materia now held is now displayed during the melding process. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice little adjustment right there. Certain items can now be sold, desynthesized, submitted as expert deliveries, or used in Materia extraction. The following items can now be equipped regardless of gender. So this is always something that the community is asking for hand over fist, time over time. New crafter actions have been added. Veneration, acquired at level 15, increases the efficiency of synthesis actions by 50% for the next 4 steps. And groundwork, now this is going to be acquired at level 72, increases progress at greater cost to durability. Effectively decreases by half when durability is below cost. The following crafter actions have been adjusted. Inner Quiet, control bonuses can now exceed 3,000. Innovation, the effect change from increases efficiency of synthesis and touch actions by 20% for the next 4 steps to increases the efficiency of touch actions by 50% for the next 4 steps. Excuse me, my throat's drying out. The following crafter actions have been removed. Ingenuity and reuse. It is now easier to increase progress and quality for recipes higher than your current level. Due to the changes to the crafting system, the required progress and maximum quality of certain recipes have been reduced. The required collectability of certain collectibles has been reduced, and you can see crafter collectibles, crafter custom deliveries, and Ishgardian restoration. The calculations feature has been added to the crafting window. This now allows the view to the expected increase in progress and quality for each crafting action. Using the calculations feature, to use this feature, select calculations from the crafting window. Excuse me. The progress tab shows the current efficiency and expected increase in progress for each available action in the effect of another action has been applied. The text will be displayed in blue. So you can see favorites, efficiency, calculations, progress, and quantity. Fascinating. Similar to the quality tab, shows the expected results of actions that increase quality. That's interesting. I'm going to have to play around with that. Up to 9 favorite actions can be selected via submenu, which can be listed under the favorites tab. And then efficiency calculations listed there. Okay. At 242 efficiency, progress increases by 926. All right. Due to the addition of the calculations feature, information relating to progress and quantity increases at 100% efficiency is now no longer displayed in the synthesis window. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the crafting log. When highlighting an item in the recipe tree, the required materials are now no longer displayed in blue. The following features have been added to the raw materials list. The option to lock the window, preventing it from being closed, and the display only materials with insufficient stock filter. Okay, that's handy. The following adjustments have been made to desynthesis. The level cap for desynthesis has been increased from 460 to 480. Stacked items can now be desynthesized one after another. So anybody out there just knocking out fish, that's going to be real handy. It'd be nice to say, like, just keep desynthesizing. Go with the whole stack and either let them just keep going or do the whole thing at once. But maybe we'll get there someday. Adjustments have been made to the materials gained from desynthesizing certain items, and adjustments have been made to the desynthesis skill required for certain items. And for gear, the required desynthesis skill is equal to the item level. Some features, such as targeting, are unavailable during desynthesis. That's a word that, for some reason, I am getting tongue twisted on. The effects of food and medical items will now no longer expire during crafting. If the timer expires during crafting, the effect will only be removed after the current synthesis is ended. The sound effect to indicate a successful crafting of an HQ item has been changed. The following gather actions have been adjusted. So patience, it's now acquired at level 15 rather than 51. GP cost reduced from 470 to 200. And duration reduced from 145 to 60. Powerful hook set, now acquired at 15 rather than 51. GP cost reduced from 74 to 50. And precision hook set, now acquired at 15, which was previously 56, and the GB cost has been reduced from 85 to 50 for Fisher. Cool. A confirmation window will now appear when canceling gathering at legendary and unspoiled gathering nodes. Being attacked by an enemy will cancel gathering without the display confirmation window, as the case prior to this patch. The following favor items have been gathered no longer have an effect, and adjustments have been made accordingly. So you have Trader's Favor listed on down the list. They can no longer be obtained from the Splendor's vendor in Idleshire. If you have any of those items in your possession, they can be exchanged for a Rowena's token, Blue Gatherer script, by speaking with the Splendor's vendor in Idleshire and selecting token reclamation. They can now be sold also at vendors, and the help text for these items has been updated accordingly. Items that could only be gathered while under favor of effects can no longer be obtained. The adjustments have been made accordingly, and you can see them listed here. If you have any of these items in your possession, they can be exchanged for Rowena's tokens, Blue Crafter scripts, by speaking with the Splendor's vendor in Idleshire and selecting token reclamation. These items can no longer be traded with other players or sold on markets. Bummer. Okay. I love when things can be traded and sold, but it is what it is. The following items are now available from the Splendor's vendor in Idleshire under Trade Craft items: Purified Coke high quality, Raisin Coat high quality, Dried Sap, Moonbeam Silk, Odorless Animal Fat, and Sky Spring Water, all high quality. The adjustments have been made to the animation used to indicate bite when fishing. Only the players can see the newly added effect. It can be displayed by setting the battle effects to show limited or show none under the character tab of the control settings for the configuration menu. Versatile lures have been added, and they can be used to catch a wide range of fish. They can be purchased from the following vendors: Merchant and Mender in Limsa Lamenza, and Merchant and Mender the Endeavor as well. I guess the Endeavor is the name of the ship. Adjustments have been made to the message displayed when failing to meet the requirements for fishing at sky fishing and dune fishing locations. The gathering log and fish guide now display the following information in applicable items: the minor botanist items and fisher items. Not included in the guide or the log. New minor and botanist gathering points have been added. New items have been added to gathering points. New fishing holes have been added. New fish have been added. The level of certain fishing holes in Ratika Greatwood have been lowered to 70. There's my alarm telling me to get up. Ocean fishing has been added. This I'm really excited about. The brand new content exclusive to fishers allows the players to set sail on the Endeavor in search of adventure in high seas. And so this is going to start off at level 1. So that's really nice. And then the quest is all the fish in the sea. Participation in ocean fishing. Every 2 hours, players have a 15-minute window to go register by speaking with Dry Shakthra, in the Limsa Lominsa lower decks. If you wish to enter as a party, the party leader must be the one to speak with the NPC. Players will be matched together to form a party when participating solo or with fewer party than 8 members. The ship will depart even if there are fewer than 24 crew members. When ocean fishing is available, the NPC will be marked with a question, an exclamation mark icon on the map. The availability and routes. Depending on the time slot, the route token and the time of arrival at the destination may vary. For more information, speak with Raishaka and Limsa Lominsa lower decks and view the sailing schedule. You can also set an alarm for the time of departure via subcommands. Fishing on the Endeavor. The Endeavor sails to the fishing locations such as Casa de Sol and Horizon, allowing you to see the sights of Eorzea as never before. Players will have 7 minutes to reel in the fish at each location with various rewards on offer. So for bait, while versatile lures can be used, there are other types of the lure created specifically for the Endeavor. To purchase these lures, speak with the merchant and vendor in the Limsa Lominsa lower decks or on board the Endeavor. Points. Rewards are given according to the points earned during ocean fishing. Releasing or discarding fish will not reduce your point total. Information on points earned, the 3 most recently caught fish, and the time remaining can be viewed on the fishing trip. You may also fish a list of fish that have caught in a score overview. Well, that's nice. Excuse me. I'm going to mute. All right. Bonuses are awarded upon fulfilling certain conditions, either individually or as a group, which affect the rewards given upon completion. Spectral currents will appear under certain conditions and allow a greater number of fish to be caught for a limited time. Experience point gain. Ocean fishing rewards experience points based on your level, regardless of which fish are caught, making it an ideal for leveling up. Completion. Once 3 fishing locations have been visited, the voyage will end and final results will be announced. Rewards are given according to the total number of points earned. Each individual player rewards differ according to their level. 1 to 49, you get experience. 50 to 79, experience in yellow gatherer script, and 80 yellow gatherer script and white gatherer script. Players who abandon the ocean fishing prior to the completion will not receive any rewards. To obtain gatherer scripts, players must first complete the quest, Inscrutable Tastes. Players who are inactive for more than 30 minutes in the firmament will be logged out automatically. Then new mounts have been added. You can see this is coming out of the ruby, ruby weapon. That looks amazing. New chocobo bardings have been added. New minions have been added. Looks like Baby Shark right over here, and a nice little ASEAN right there. The number of crafting and gathering scripts required for certain items has been reduced. Gil is no longer given as a reward when submitting collectibles. So some systems. Now, I was asked earlier about job adjustments. I haven't seen any job adjustments in these notes, so I'm wondering if that's going to be a part of the full, or if they're just if they forgot them. The new achievement titles have been added. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the achievements. Crafting and gathering achievements have been combined into a single category. Additional duties and trials can now count towards the completion of achievements. And you can see here the achievement. They're adding in Cinderdrift, Eden's Verse, and Savage for the tankless job. Someone's got to do it. Tankless job, warrior, etc., etc. And same thing kind of ties into the dungeons. You can see Adamus Snyder, Cinderdrift, Eden's Verse, etc. For thank you, and then going down the list there. Duty time remaining will now be displayed prior to the disappearance of the circle restricting player movement at the beginning of a duty. Upon completing a duty, the time until players are forced to leave has been changed from 10 minutes to the remainder of the duty's time limit. New retainer exploration ventures levels have been added. Fees for now are now charged for items bought from the market board when the player is in the city where the item was listed. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Fees are now charged for items bought. All right. The following additions and adjustments have been made to fellowships. So a notification will be displayed if on a login if any of your fellowships have a new poll or message in the general tab. That's handy because taking a sip. That's handy because it's, I rarely engage with fellowships. I don't know about you guys. The notifications can be toggled on and off to display notifications upon login. upon the fellowship's list. So you can turn that on and off. The following options have been added to activities: Triple Triad, collectibles, and chatting. There we go. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the Fellowship Finder. The fellowships are now would now allows players to highlight fellowships that fulfill certain conditions. The number of fellowships in the current page that fulfill these conditions will also be displayed on the type right menu, and the following conditions can be set: fellowship name or comment. There we go. I have someone who was like, "Hey, how do I find y'all's fellowship?" I'm like, "I don't know." Message me when I'm online. Recruiter name and the fellowship size. The following filters have been added: main sub activities, recruiter's home world. The number of fellowships displayed on each page has been increased from 20 to 40. And pages with the Fellowship Finder can be changed with the LB and RB, or L1 and R1 on PlayStation. The following additions and adjustments have been made to waymarks. 3 and 4 are now available. Up to 8 waymarks can now be set. Waymarks can now be saved and loaded. The positions of waymarks placed in duties can be saved to 1 of 5 slots, and after entering a duty, select the relevant slot to load the saved waymark. Each slot displayed information including marker type and time and date can be created. Waymarks can no longer be placed or removed during combat. But this change does not affect PvP, which still allows placement and removal of waymarks during combat. Adjustments have been made to the duty recorder. The duties that can be recorded have changed: Dying Gasp, Minstrel's Ballad, Hades' Elegy, and the Copied Factory. When viewing a recorded duty, turning off the HUD will also hide the waymarks. Record Ready Check can now be used in Alliance raids, and the storage space required for one slot of the duty recorder data has been increased from 60 megabytes to 120 megabytes, and that's for PlayStation 4 only. The following additions and adjustments have been made to Group Pose. The camera and lighting settings can now be saved and loaded. The camera settings can be saved as position, zoom, angle of view, and roll angle. The lighting settings can be saved for lighting 1 through 3, character lighting, and manual lighting settings. The ranged camera movement available using A and D keys and the left stick have been increased. Frames that are not affected by camera settings have been added, and new frames have been added. When activating Group Pose, the guide for settings and control will be displayed automatically. The time taken for Group Pose to active when several players are nearby has been reduced. The following adjustments have been made to the Party Finder. The category Exploratory Missions has been named to Gathering Forays. The recruiting for Alliance raids and recordable toggle now allows you to specify that the duty recorder may be used. The following additions and adjustments have been made to Duty Finder. So when the duty window appears, you may now view your Duty Finder settings listed here at the bottom. When withdrawing from a duty that is about to start, a message will be displayed regarding the association penalty. When using the Duty Finder as a member of the party, this message will be displayed for all party members. The message will only be displayed in the case where penalties apply, rather than every time the withdrawal button is used. The Frontline Freelancer option has been removed from the Duty Finder, and once the duty commencement window has appeared, players will now no longer move to another area. The option replying in a selected chat mode has been added to the subcommand available from player names in the chat log. It is now possible to change the chat channel to that of the selected player. Settings for the following, the option reply to selected chat, oh, that's nice, has been added to the subcommand available from player names. Okay. That's nice. I wonder if there's a text command for that. Wolfster, what's going on? We do sleep. And then my kids wake me up and I'm like, well, time to go read notes. The settings for the associated chat windows can now be assessed from their associated windows. And then you can see, obviously, chat, Alliance, Free Company, PvP team, and beginner. Now, if a player logs out during the 72-hour period in which they have returner status and then does not log again in for 45 days or more, they will receive returner status once again for 72 hours upon logging in. The camera distance is set when logging out will now be retained upon logging in. The recommendations window is locked when logged out. It will now be locked when logging back in. The requirements for acquiring certain toy chest minigames have been adjusted. Players who have completed either the seasonal events in Adventures We Trust or Message in a Bottle will now have access to the following toy chest minigames: Slide 1 plus 14, Concentration, and Cheap Dungeon. Hey, Sloppy. Players who have completed the seasonal event Deus Ex Machina will now have the access to the following chess minigame: Egg Hunter Rigging. Minigames feature the seasonal events will now also be unlocked in a similar fashion. The dice command has been added and will display a random number from 0 to 999 in the current chat channel. So you can see here, we can be throwing dice, everybody. Time to roll. The following options have been added to the character configuration interface: Log Window Settings, General tab, Log Filters, Announcements tab, and Alarm Notifications. Display Name Settings, General tab, Display Name Size, Maximum, Large, and Standard. Additions and adjustments have been made to text commands. The following text commands have been added. You can see dice, and then you can see varying other options and things like that. We're not going to go over that, but there we go. Death Monkey throwing some dice. Nameplate display right there. Nameplate type. The subcommand for waymark text have been added, so you can also adjust your waymarks via obviously a macro. Additions have been made to the auto-translate dictionary. Additions have been made to the PlayStation 4 autocomplete. Music has been added, and the launcher layout has been updated for Windows and PlayStation 4. Alright, let's let this play. Woo. Boom, baby. Look at those feet.
It was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further.
In such vessels did the ancients preserve concepts.
Oh, yeah.
Ideal forms to be drawn upon in the act of creation.
We didn't see any notes for Diadem. There we go. The designs here are just incredible.
If, as the Exarch's research suggests, soul and mind share a fragile yet profound bond, might it not be possible for an event to leave such a deep imprint upon the soul that it could be perceived eons later?
The light! It's too much for her to bear!
In which case, none of this is mere coincidence.
What is going
Only
on
by
with
the
Sid?
will of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass.
How very unlike you.
How very unlike.
So gravely.
So gravely. So that is the patch notes, everybody. Hopefully you've gotten something out of it. Feels like there is definitely a lot missing. Feels very thin in terms of actually what's provided. So we do know with 5.21 and 5.25, more content is dropping. But we didn't see any job adjustments unless for some reason I just completely spaced out for that phase. We also didn't see anything talking about some of those other systems. So, well, you know, it's going to be what it is. I will have to see if Monday brings, you know, that additional information. Honestly, it would make sense just to wait till the patch is live before they're like, and here's the adjustments, because it tends to be that, you know, we speculate way too much off of the adjustments listed and what they actually mean. So, unless anybody has any questions, it looks like Death Monkey's saying, so I think Y'shtola is talking about being able to see the giant people in the new dungeon. Well, that's possible, for sure. If anybody has any questions, let me know now. I'm going to go try and put some kind of summary to this for Work to Game before I get to work. This is going to be a long day. I'm sure there's going to be crazy amounts of information that tend to drop as I also finish up work. So, all right, if you guys have anything you need, just make sure you can always just reach out to us on our Discord server. Links are in the description. Be sure to subscribe if you like live content here for Work to Play. And with that, I hope you guys all have an incredible day. Take care.